Linda Church. A look ahead at the rest of the day today. Right now, temperatures across the area just at or below the freezing mark at this point. If you're headed out the door, you are going to run into some light snow flurries in and around Manhattan. Downtown right now, 26. Uptown, the Bronx is at 25. Into Brooklyn, 25. If you're headed to the major regional airports, Queens and Newark this morning, the temperature is awfully chilly. The snow could cause some delays. It's not a big deal with visibility yet. Visibility is not really that far off, but just know that you could run into some delays. North and west of the city, temperatures quite a bit cooler. Because of that, the moisture content in the atmosphere will add up to more snow. The latest models I've been looking at early this morning, barely an inch, maybe a half an inch to an inch of snow in New York, but barely an inch in New York City. The place where you will see the snow is if you're driving in from the suburbs, especially those northern and western suburbs where it is considerably cooler early this morning. So here's the moisture in and around the area. This is going to blossom as the day progresses, so you are going to see a little bit more. This isn't just a single band moving through the area, but we've got the light snow underway in and around New York City at this point. Began 15-20 minutes ago, literally, when I was live downstairs. At 9 o'clock, you've got the light snow. So really from now until 9, you've got light intermittent snow showers. We get to 10, the same type of thing, but it's becoming a little more widespread, especially north of the area. We get to noontime, and it's just a system that doesn't seem to want to quit, and that's how we could see an inch of snow in New York City in the 5 boroughs, but also some rain. You can see at noontime in New York, it's going to be mainly a mix at that point, some rain for Staten Island, Brooklyn, over into Queens, the Bronx, Uptown, Manhattan. You might actually still see a little mixing going on. And you get up towards Yonkers and you're back to snow again. So from noon till around 3, we're a mix back and forth from mixed precip over to rain, back to mixed precip in New York City. But this is how you get the heavier amounts north and west. You can see north and west, it continues as snow straight up until around 5 o'clock this evening. And because of that, you're going to see those heavier amounts adding up north and west. Overnight tonight, we clear out. So specifically how much? I think at best an inch for New York City, where you're going to see most of the snow north and west of the city, and you're looking at a total of 2 to 4. So not a big deal with that. Meteorologist Linda Church, just keeping a close eye on the storm. This is very close up. Just wanted to start off so you could see what's going on in and around the 5 boroughs. So if you're traveling into the city within the next hour or two, we've got light snow in Manhattan. This goes up to the Bronx, over into Queens, down to Brooklyn, and even into Staten Island at this point. So we have light snow covering much of the area, and this is going to be on and off at least until noontime. So there was the leading edge. This is our band of snow showers. This has just moved in. By noontime, we're going to start to mix with some ice and rain, and at that point, I think it really could be treacherous out there. Certainly easier to maneuver on snow or rain than it is on ice. So I wanted to run down for you the ice accumulation. It's not a lot, 7/100ths, very close to a 1/10 of an inch, a little less than a 1/10 of an inch. And there you go, less than a 1/10 of an inch as well in Trenton. But it doesn't take much. This is the same thing for Bridgeport as well. So just so you know, from noon to around 4 o'clock in the city, that's when you could see the ice accumulate. Less than an inch in New York City. I think that's, you know, about... Meteorologist Linda Church, look at the temperatures outside right now. Everybody across the board at this point below the freezing mark. I do think by noontime in New York City, we'll start to see some mixing, that temperature getting just above the freezing mark. But north and west, you can see how much colder it is north and west of the city, and because of that, it's all snow at least until around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then it tapers off and you dry out during the late afternoon into the evening hours. There you go. We got the snow underway about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, in and around the 5 boroughs at this point. Pretty much anywhere in the tri-state, you've got some light snow. It's not a big deal, but I do think we'll see about an inch in New York City. So here's our system moving up and through the area, and it'll continue to keep that snow going on and off throughout much of the daytime hours. I think by 3, 4 o'clock. At noontime, it mixes in New York City. 3, 4 o'clock is when we start to dry out. And then we're going to get into some pretty nice weather as we get closer to the weekend. I wanted to run down some specific amounts for you across the board. In and around New York City, I think it's less than an inch. In New York City, it's not much because we're going to turn to rain by noon, and it's just going to be wet and slushy. But notice north and west, 2 to 3 inches. We're going with a broad brush of 2 to 4 because in the higher elevations, you could certainly get around 2 to 4. Still calling it 1 to 3 in the city, but you're basically looking at barely an inch. And then right along coastal sections, it's mainly all rain. Because of that, no accumulation expected.